Hey guys, welcome to Cook with Nancy. Today I'm going to make this holiday season berry cake with lemon mascarpone frosting. If you are new to my channel or you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and subscribe right now so that you don't miss out any upcoming videos. Now let's get started making this beautiful looking and delicious tasting berry cake. To make the cake, let's start off with the dry ingredients first. I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 4 teaspoon baking powder. Now start swifting them together. This is another good way that all the mixture will be combined properly. I'm using my hand. Just go ahead and do it. And once it is done, we are going to set this aside. In another bowl, I'm going to take 6 egg whites, just to egg white, 6 of them. But if you decide to do whole egg, then you just use 4 eggs. I personally don't like to use egg yolk in my cake because the cake kind of turns out to be yellowish. I want the cake to be more of white side. Now once you have all the 6 egg white, then you go ahead and use a high-speed hand mixer and mix it until the stiff cake is formed. Now let's keep this aside and prepare the batter. I have a bowl, and to this I'm going to add mascarpone cheese, 8 ounces. Just make sure you keep this in a room temperature. We want it to be soft. We don't want it to be like hard when we are making the batter. Now to this I'm going to add 1 cup of unsalted softened butter, totally room temperature. You cannot have this hard butter. And 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 1 cup of granulated sugar. Now just use the hand mixer and just combine them until it breaks down. To this now I'm going to add 1 cup of full fat milk. I'm using a hand mixer. You can also use the stand mixer if you like. Now mix them until it's nice and creamy and smooth batter. Scrape down the sides as needed. Now the batter is ready. Now to that I'm going to add the egg white that we already prepared. So add it to the mixture that we just prepared and gently fold it with the batter. Now when you're folding it, just do not overwork with it. Just gently fold it. That should be fine. If you see little lumps, that's okay. Now I'm going to add the dry ingredients we prepared earlier. You can add them in batches or you can just add them all together. Just gently fold it until it's all incorporated well. At this point, don't worry about any small lumps or anything like that, but make sure there's not a big huge lumps that is left behind. Just a little bit here and there should be fine, because as we bake the cake it should be all settled well and it will be done properly. Now I'm done with the batter. It looks nice and smooth. At this point I'm going to add berries. You can add blackberries, strawberries, blueberries, any kind of berries that you like. I'm adding 1 cup of strawberries and blueberries mixed together, and I'm going to gently fold them again. Now it's all done. As you can see, it's nice and soft and smooth. At this point I'm going to put them in the baking pan. You can use butter and dust them with little flour if you like, or use the parchment paper or the wax paper like this. I'm using actually 3 pans. 1 pan is right behind. I'm just going to show you guys 2 pans at this point. I'm going to divide them equal amount of batter into all 3 pans. So now I'm just dividing into 2 pans at this point, and then I'm going to save rest for this 3rd pan. And then once that is done, I'm going to put them in the oven, preheated oven. My oven is already preheating at 350 degrees. Before you put the batter inside the oven, just tap it a couple of times so there's no air pocket that's trapped. Now I'm going to bake it for 35 to 45 minutes depending upon the oven temperature you have, or until the toothpick insert comes out clean. Now we are going to make lemon mascarpone frosting. For this I'm using 16 ounces of mascarpone and 8 ounces of cream cheese. If you can't find mascarpone, then you can just use cream cheese, 24 ounces, that's okay. Or if you want to just use mascarpone 24 ounces, that's also good. I'm using cream cheese just to give that little lift to the frosting. Now in a bowl I'm going to add the mascarpone 16 ounces, cream cheese 8 ounces. It should be totally at room temperature. Make sure it's kept outside from the refrigerator at least a couple minutes before you start making them. I have 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Using a hand mixer or the stand mixer, just mix them until it's a little softened up before we add the rest of the ingredients. Now I'm going to add a pinch of thyme. The thyme really lifts up the flavor. If you don't have thyme, that's okay, just skip it. I'm using 6 tablespoons of lemon juice. Depending upon your taste, you can use less or more. Now I'm going to just mix it for a couple of seconds. Once that is done, I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients. I have 3 cups of powdered sugar. Now, if your sugar is like really sweet, then use only 2.5 cups. Or if the sugar level is lower, like mine, use 3 cups. Now I'm going to just mix it it at a slow speed because I don't want the powdered sugar to be flying all around places. Once the sugar is well incorporated, it's time to add chilled 1 cup of heavy cream. Now I'm adding zest of whole lemon because it gives nice lift to the frosting. Make sure you just grate the outer layer. The deeper you go, it starts getting bitter, so just keep an eye on it. Once that is done, just scrape down the sides. Using a hand mixer, slowly mix it one last time. Once you see a stiff peak, that's when you stop, just like that. Now we start decorating the cake. I have all the 3 cakes completely cooled down. That's so important before you start the frosting. I have a couple of berries. I have raspberries, strawberries, there's chopped, and full strawberries, blackberries, and blueberries. You can use any kind of berries that you like. Now I'm gonna layer up the cake. The first layer, I forgot to mention, in some cases what happens, the berries that we mixed in the batter tend to sink down, but in my case it did not happen. It depends on the temperature of the oven. But if you think it might happen in your oven, you just mix a little bit of flour into your berries before you add them to the batter. Now I'm going to generously add the frosting. Now it's time to add that beautiful berries to the topping. Now you can add any kind of berries, as I said, just 1 type of berry, 2 types of berry, or mixed berries. That's perfectly fine. It looks beautiful, the colorful. Use any berries that is in season. It's that simple. Just continue to do this with the rest of the layers, the second layer, and then continue to do that with the rest of the frosting and the fruits. This is my last layer of cake, and I'm gonna do the frosting on top and lay some berries, some blueberries, blackberries, and whole strawberries. Now I'm gonna do the sides as well, frost the sides. Since we have a lot of frosting, the cake looks beautiful. It's nice and good looking cake. You can see the berries, looks beautiful. Now it's the moment of truth. Let's cut a slice and check how it looks. You can definitely refrigerate the cake if you want, and you can keep this up to 3 days. Just make sure it's covered well so that it doesn't get dried out. Now let's see the cake. It looks beautiful. Look at the berries that we cooked along with the batter, and also the berries that we layered up, and all the frosting. The fork cuts through so easily. This cake is so soft and it tastes super delicious with the flavors of lemon and the frosting. So good. If you like this recipe, please do not forget to subscribe below, and I will see you soon in my next video. Don't forget to give a big thumbs up if you like this recipe, and also don't forget to comment below. See you guys!